Hi, my name's Adrian from Real Kombucha. At Real Kombucha, we make fermented drinks brewed from high-end teas as a great alternative to alcohol, because sometimes you're just not in the mood for an alcoholic drink. For example, instead of grabbing a glass of Prosecco to keep that clear head, you could grab one of our Royal Flush, which is brewed from a high-end tea, a first flush Darjeeling tea, which gives a light fruit and floral finish to the kombucha without flavour. It's absolutely amazing to be stood here today to be able to work with KILNER as we started our kombucha journey using the kombucha KILNER jars. So we're going to show you how to brew kombucha at home and show you what's possible. So what is kombucha? Kombucha is just fermented tea. It's brewed in a very similar style to wine or beer, but it's been around for thousands of years, originally from China, where a Chinese emperor discovered it. It's simply made from this yeast and bacteria, which enables it to ferment, but also to give it its rich health benefits. Kombucha culture is made from bacteria and yeast, and these bacteria and yeast are happy to live with one another. And that's made up of two components, one the liquid, but also a substance called the SCOBY, and you've probably heard of the term SCOBY. SCOBY stands for a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, which simply means that the yeast and the bacteria live with one another within this SCOBY. This is essential to kombucha brewing and producing that slightly sweet but slightly tart finish, as well as having all those health benefits. So to make our kombucha, we need a couple of ingredients. Firstly, we're going to need our tea, loose leaf tea for example. We need sugar, we need our kombucha culture or our starter liquid, we need some cold filtered water, and then we're also going to need our SCOBY. Once we've got all of those ready, we're ready to brew our kombucha. So let's get brewing. So what we need to do first is take our tea, which is in our steeper. We take our hot water, which we boiled up to about 100 degrees, let it cool for a few minutes, and then basically just incorporate the hot water into your steep vessel, and you're basically adding about 1 litre. Once you've added that, you agitate the tea slightly and let it steep for about 20 minutes and come back to it once it's finished. So now that we've had the tea steeping for 20 minutes, just slowly agitating it just to get all the tea out, and then simply just lift it out, let all the water drain, and set that aside. Then what you need to do is take your pre-weighed sugar, simply add that to your tea, and what we're going to do is take a spoon, just mix that in, make sure all the sugar's dissolved into the tea to make your sweet tea. So now that all the sugar's dissolved into the tea, we've got our sweet tea, the building blocks of our kombucha. What you then need to do is take your cold water and incorporate it in to blend the sweet tea. So this dilutes it down. And what it does is also brings the temperature down. Give that one final stir just to make sure everything's incorporated in. And then what you want to do is you want to get your KILNER jar ready to take the lid off and simply decant your sweet tea into the jar itself. And what you're aiming to do is fill it up to about 3/4. You should have enough mixture to be able to do that. If you've got a bit more, just set some aside for later, just to top up. And you're then ready to add your kombucha culture or your starter liquid. So simply take that, we've got about 250 mils here, we'll add that in, and simply by taking your spoon, just give it a quick mix to incorporate the starter liquid in. And then the final piece is our SCOBY, just to complete the kombucha. We place that in, and which will slowly just sink into the bottom, and then we have it. That's our kombucha ready to ferment. So the final step is to add your muslin cloth. That simply protects your kombucha during the fermentation process. So add your cloth to the top.